Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Everything Outside Code. Today, I have a wonderful founder and CEO with me, Benjamin Bekken. Benjamin, nice. As usual, on Everything Outside Code, we're going to be talking about the hard, but I think fun parts of getting a product to market, which is everything, outside actual software development. So we're looking at marketing, finance. Today, we're going to be talking about storytelling. We typically would go anywhere from sales to outbound strategies, that kind of stuff. Just everything to help you get your products from development to your users. And today we're going to be focusing a bit into storytelling. We're talking to Benjamin about Wepost. He's built a really cool product. So we're going to learn all about that. I'm based in Norway, and Benjamin is also based in Norway. He's actually across the street somewhere not far from here. So I'm just going to I'm going to give Benjamin the floor. Oh, before that, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. And if you're on YouTube, just hit the like button or hit the subscribe button somewhere below here. Over to Benjamin. Let's get this going. Could you tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got to being co-founder of Wepost?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for the invite, William. It's really cool to be here. I'm a fan of this guy when he started the AI Mad Labs in Oslo. It's a community builder for the AI community. It's really nice to have. There's not a lot of AI people in Norway, so it's really nice to be part of that community and share some knowledge in between us. I'm Benjamin. I am originally from Trondheim. Just delivered my master thesis there as well from the NTNU School of Entrepreneurship, where also Wepost was founded. So we delivered our master thesis this summer, and now we're working full time in our startup. Moved to the capital of Oslo, and we're here to scale our business with a target goal of getting 100 customers before Christmas. So it's gonna be a journey. It's already been a journey, but it's more to come. So that's at least.
That's fantastic. So what's your background? Are you the engineering guy or the business person?
No, I'm more of the marketing guy, so or the business person. So I have a bachelor in media studies, and then besides my studies, I worked as a freelancer and also worked in an agency. So there's kind of where I noticed the problem with the content marketing. So the main problem Weeple solves is that I think a lot of marketing and content is really boring, and the businesses are really bad at marketing. They usually don't have any content, and when they do have content, their content sucks. It's nobody cares about it. There's no engagement, and when they finally get some engagement or get some content out there, and finally people like it, it's just a one-time thing. It's not. It maybe goes viral, but then it dies out. People can't keep up with the consistency and stuff. And so when I worked in an agency and as a freelancer, I was looking for a tool, and I didn't find one. So I went to NTNU and had a lot of cool technical friends and asked them like, hey, what I have this idea of maybe a subscription of the video production was my main idea. And then people said like, maybe you can go for AI. And the AI and video was so far-fetched. But then I pivoted kind of to a model called Stable Diffusion in the early days. And then I was like, oh, for design. So we could create like cool design posts and stuff. And maybe that could solve the problem. And then he just, has continued from there. And that is maybe the origin of Wepost.
Yeah, I love your agency background because so far it seems like agencies are sort of like a proving ground for problems because you get to experience problems from different angles, from different customers, and you could pick out like common themes. And you also know which problems are more expensive, like the most expensive problems to solve. So,
Yeah.
do you feel like your agency background helped with that?
Yes, absolutely. I think as an agency, they're always on their tippy toes on to get new clients, new black labels in the houses. Yeah. They are on the tippy toes to get those clients and get money in all the time. So it always has to deliver value, and you can deliver value in so many ways. and I
Mm-hmm.
was hired as a movie creator. So I created movies on a daily basis. So I worked part-time in a agency called Verre, which has the World Cup in skiing for 2025 right now. So they're really big in Trondheim, where I'm from. So it was really cool working there. I got a lot of cool
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
from there, and then
Mm-hmm.
used a lot of that in Wepost.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, I need to check out that agency
Yeah,
and see and see what's happening there. But coming to WePost, I love the fact that the core problems you wanted to solve was quality and consistency with that quality, because
yeah,
quality is great, but keeping consistency on the quality, that's something that's also difficult, because when quality is consistent, that's when you have like a higher chance of triggering virality or achieving virality, right?
yeah.
Because if it's like shoot and this with poor quality content, then you have a lower chance. With great
Yes.
quality content, consistently virality is going to come. It's just a matter of time. So I would say, how have you solved that with WePost, or at least maybe not solved, but how are you approaching that
Fine. So
with
yeah.
with WePost?
No, great question. I think so. Yeah, I started out thinking that maybe we could create a Discord channel and that you could take a prompt and then you could generate social media content. And then I thought that didn't work at all because yeah, marketers didn't want to use that. It's not part of their workflow. It's really hard to like know what you're gonna put in there. So there's a lot of problems with that. And then the output, it's usually like if you bring shit in, it's shit out.
Hmm.
So you need to have a great way of putting stuff in to get good stuff out. So we found that out pretty early. So we knew that we needed just not a cool AI, but we needed a great platform around it, which wraps around the AI. So we built that. So we started building that in a no-code tool just to prove that people actually want to buy this kind of software. And then we didn't have any AI, so we did that manually. So
Hmm.
in that no-code tool, it's called App Farm. It's also Norwegian. You could plan and like put posts into a calendar, and then you could kind of order posts, and then we created them like an AI, and then
But it was you.
yeah, so it was me, and we have a content creator in house which did all of the compost.
Hmm.
And yeah, they created that, and then they can review it in the platform, and then they could approve it, and then we would also manually schedule it with that no code tool. And now we have like scrapped the no code. We have built it all up from scratch and have now integrated ourselves with LinkedIn and Meta. So
Hmm.
now we can publish automatically. And but we're still doing a lot of the content creation manually because the AI is not optimal. But we're getting really close. So it's really
Yeah.
cool to see.
So this sounds like a mix of HI and AI, like human intelligence and artificial
Yes,
intelligence, like a mix of both.
100%. Hundred
Yeah,
percent.
that is great, and I love your bootstrapping, I would say, story, like your bootstrapping mentality, which is you started from Discord first. It's like
Yeah.
we're going to find a proving ground. I guess if Mid Journey could prove it with Discord and grow on
Yeah.
Discord, you could try it as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could try
Yeah.
that as well. So try Discord, didn't work, and then you figured, okay, we need to have some platform. You didn't go directly to build something, because that's what most people would do. Is we have this cool thing, we're going to build an app. You try the no code tool first, which is that's like a lower barrier to actually shipping the product with low code tools.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, what does WePost do at the
In a
moment?
nutshell, Wepost lets you plan, create, and publish and analyze your content marketing on social media. So on Facebook, Instagram, stories, on LinkedIn, we
Hmm.
create carousel posts. So our customers today, they put posts into our platform. So let's say next week I want a post about William of Hackmamba. He's really cool. He loves his work and he loves his employees. You write in something like that. You put a picture of you, and then our AI generates a storyline based on that. So you have to click through the carousel, and then puts on Hackman Plus branding, a logo and stuff, and does it kind of a bit corporate. And then you can get it to review, and then you can do your iterations if you want to change some text, change an image, or whatever. And when it's good, you schedule it out, and it gets published and tagged on all relevant platforms. And then you can analyze and see how it performs, and then do it again, pretty much.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, it I love the. It seems like you have a story angle to
Yeah,
this. Yeah. So, which is what like piqued my interest, because I'm sure there are a lot of tools that let you schedule posts and like create posts and schedule into the future. It gives you a calendar. HubSpot will kick you out of business if you would if you would try to go with just scheduling posts, for instance. But then there's a storytelling angle to it, which is what I'm very interested in. So could you tell me a bit about that storytelling angle to it? And I mean, this applies to B2B companies because you serve businesses. So could
yeah,
you speak more to that? What's your approach to storytelling in WePost?
yeah. So we target B2B mainly because B2B and B2C in marketing has two completely different angles, at least in our
Hmm.
opinion. B2C is more you sell a product to a mass market, while B2B, you're usually there's longer sales processes, more meetings, there's harder kind of to get the sale from one ad. So
Hmm.
there's more organic marketing and there's more employer branding. So there's different kind of angles. So it's more fitting for storytelling. So what is the story behind the company? Why does it exist? Who's behind the company? Why should I buy this product contra something else? So we really believe that B2B storytelling and B2B goes hand in hand. But B2B companies are really bad at it, especially on social media. They don't know how to do it, and they do it the same way as B2C. They try to use ads and just sell with that. And with storytelling, we believe that marketing and storytelling also goes hand in hand. That the best marketers or marketing companies out there are truly storytellers, and that given the right kind of recipe, you
Hmm.
can do it correctly and consistent over time. So every startup has a story, and
Hmm.
with your marketing, you can tell that to the world. And that is what we pretty much do with Repost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, I love when I hear founders talk about storytelling in B2B as against like the B2C notion, and also in recognition of the longer sales cycle and the longer, like, I would say, deal timelines in
Mm,
B2B as against B2C, where it's like you just sell me something to one person and you want to
mm.
sell a lot of it. I do not see, especially in Norway, I do not see a lot of founders going the storytelling route,
No,
or even the content marketing route.
no, no, no,
Uh,
true.
yeah, I recently saw Håkon from Vouch.
Yeah.
We recently connected, and I see he posts like a lot on LinkedIn, and it's like just telling his story and Vouch's story.
Mm,
And I'm either going to use Vouch now or I'm going to
yeah.
use it later in the future. I know, because like I connect with the stories he's telling, the come up stories of the company, the
Mm,
problems they're solving, and he tells it nicely. He talks about it like really well. So
mm,
um I, I'm just drawn to that. And also I watched them pitch Vouch, and he had like a really great pitch for
mm.
for Vouch last week. But yeah, that's a little segue. I
Yeah,
just think
yeah.
I agree with you that storytelling is definitely important. So um what, in your opinion, what makes a good story?
Ooh, a good story. A good story is it's like a good pitch. I love a good pitch, and we have kind of the golden recipe of a good pitch. It's something personal. I always recommend something personal in a good story. We were at NTNU and had a lot of students. We had a research group from NTNU trying to map out what students kind of felt were the main important aspects of marketing in B2B. And all of them said behind the scenes were the most important and most intriguing parts about the B2B
Hmm.
company. So I truly believe that A great story is personal. It brings something to the table you can relate to, so it's relatable and kind of has something which you find intriguing or would like to see or learn more about. Like you
Hmm.
did with Vouch. His story
Yeah.
is personal. He probably like experienced the problem, and it's relatable. You can relate to the problem, and then you kind of he also has the solution to it, and that's a great way of
Hmm.
telling a story, because
Hmm.
you're in your story you're kind of selling your product without selling your product. You're actually just telling a story.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. You're correct. Definitely, I love the. It has to be the more personal, the better,
Yeah,
right? The more relatable, the better. Great stories are relatable because they keep people's attention.
yeah,
Um,
completely.
Definitely, I agree with that. I try to answer the question myself, and I feel like, yeah, aside a great story being personal, a great story has a scene.
Mm,
It has a scenario to it, a scenario that you can imagine. A great story triggers like your imagination and gets you to think about a certain state, think about an environment or certain characteristics or things that are happening. Basically, a scene, just like a movie
mm,
has scenes, and books, plays have scenes. A story has a scenario, and ultimately, I feel like stories should make you feel some type of way,
mm.
right? They should
Oh,
trigger a feeling. They should trigger a feeling of like, I missed something. Oh, I like this. They should they could trigger a feeling of disgust, like, ew, this is disgusting, or this
yeah,
is horrible. Yeah, a good story is something that can make you feel some type of way, and the deeper the feeling, I feel, the better the story. So if I read something, but I'm like, skip.
yeah, yeah,
I
100%.
feel like, yeah, that's not a good story. But if it makes me go, wow, that's impressive, or I feel delighted, or I feel proud, or I feel a bit angry or pissed, then
Yeah.
I just attribute them like, yeah, this person has, spent 300 to 400 words, and they've told like something really good, or they teach me something, and I feel inspired.
Mm,
So great stories are personal, relatable, and then they are inspiring, and they have like a scenario that you could almost put yourself. At least you can imagine. So, how
mm.
does WePost help tell these good stories? So, is there a do you bring in, or do you help people tell good stories, or they come with their stories and you help them publish it or clean it up? So, are there recommendations, or did you contribute to this story, either telling or refinement process, or do you just provide them with the tools to say, hey, here's what a good story could have, like images and videos and carousels, and here are forms you could tell a good story. Here are all the tools, go figure it out yourself. In what
Yeah.
form, or how does WePost sort of support this at the moment, at least?
Yeah, no, I love the way you describe a story, and I wish I would say that, because the getting a feeling is the most important part of a great story. It's the feeling you get from it. So in WePost, we think it's super essential. So we have, amongst many things, we have a feature called brand archetypes. So
Hmm.
archetypes is, I don't know if you know it, but it's in psychology. It's from a psychologist, which has said that every human has a different archetype or something. And in branding, you actually have that same kind of analogy or term,
Hmm.
that you have 12 different archetypes. And that is kind of who you are. And you can also change and develop who you are over time. So those 12 archetypes are everything from the hero, like for example, Nike. Nike is a hero archetype, and you have IKEA, which is the everyman. You have Harley Davidson, which is the outlaw. You have all of these different archetypes, and with AI, we scrape the website of our company to kind of get a lot of data without the user needing to fill all of that out. And we try to define, okay, based on all of this data we found on you, this is your archetype. This is you, the hero or the main character of your story. Are you an outlaw? Then you should be more like I don't know, be more like Harley Davidson, talk more
Or
out there.
gangster.
Yes, more gangster, more out there, be more wild. And that's how
Yeah.
you tell your story. You're more wild and out there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're more like IKEA, you're more like everyman. You should feel really relatable, or like a caregiver, which should take care and
Mm-hmm.
be nurturing your audience. So you kind of do that. That's one aspect. But also, we specialize in carousel posts, which it sounds really stupid, but instead of doing like standalone posts or images or videos, we do carousels, and that
Okay.
is both in two ways. It in marketing, it really enhances the click-through rate. So people love
Okay.
on carousel posts, both on Instagram. They love to swipe. They do that on stories. They do that on LinkedIn. People love that. So the metrics are insanely good. But from a storytelling aspect, they are really great ways of telling a story. You have a landing page, a hook, which AI helps you kind of define. So the input from the user is usually not really good,
Mm-hmm.
but the story can become really good if you have a good recipe. So you have an introduction, a main part, and a finisher, which we always try to define within a carousel post. And in that way, we always try to, yeah, create a good story out of every
Mm-hmm.
prompt within a carousel post, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And I just thought about something behaviorally that I haven't thought about before, which is I don't think I've ever seen a carousel that I didn't swipe to the next page.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. When I see a carousel, even if if it's like multiple, I take Instagram for instance, and I see multiple standalone content, maybe some like I follow Pond Bible, for
Yep,
instance,
yep,
and I see like individual ponds, and even if the first one is bad, it's horrible. I swipe to the second one,
yeah, right?
and I just thought about they didn't need to do so much to catch my attention, right? Because they're on my feed. Okay, yeah, folks I follow. I
Yeah,
see the first one, I swipe. The swipe action already, that's an investment.
mm,
And that's a valuable investment. It takes milliseconds, but it's valuable. And
yeah,
if they did, if the first page was right, they would have me on the second page. And once I'm invested with one swipe, even if my tolerance level has, maybe dropped a little bit, I still don't want to give up. There's sunk cost fallacy that kicks in,
yeah,
which is you want to swipe to the third one. Maybe you're going to finally get it. And then if it's good, then you have even more incentive to just keep swiping till and then you get rewarded for it. So I think carousels, I didn't think about it before now, but carousels are definitely good for they'll be good for engagement. And as you say,
mm,
the numbers are saying that they're really good. I should
yeah,
definitely try them more on 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 LinkedIn, for instance. I know LinkedIn
yeah,
has carousels. And the same behavior too on LinkedIn. I know if I see a carousel, it starts with like a landing page. I swipe to the next one because that's where the actual content is, right? And if the
yeah,
next one is remotely good, I'm already invested. I'm like, okay,
mm,
let me see what the rest are. Sometimes I just swipe through all at once because maybe it's not as interesting, but I
yeah,
actually want to make it to the end, right?
yeah,
So it's
it's true.
that's an interesting behavior. I'll definitely try to make carousels, or at least make more carousels. So
Yeah,
to WePost and just to storytelling in general,
mm,
I don't use a lot of AI, and AI is artificial intelligence.
mm,
Stories are human, right? Stories are from people, right?
mm.
From people, from experiences with context. So to tell a good story, you need a human. How do you
Mm.
see AI's involvement or contribution to storytelling? Do you think AI could tell original stories eventually? What's your take on that?
No, I don't, or I could probably do it, but at least for Weeple's sake, we would like to tell the business's story, and those should never be artificial. There was like a huge case in at least the marketing of Norway. where a bank created an artificial person and said that he loved the bank's products, and people like it was this mass media, and that's like negative marketing. You don't
Yeah.
want that. You want good marketing, which is based on your true facts about your company
Mm-hmm.
and your story. I can't say that
Mm-hmm.
we have 100 customers because we don't, even though
Yeah.
AI says we have it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's super important that the story is their own, and I mean that AI can enhance their story and tell it better. But the initial prompt and uh, the idea can also be AI based on like idea of what the post should be about, what the story maybe could be, but what exactly that is, the business I think needs to tell us, and it's our job to kind of wrap the platform and our AI to really enhance that initial prompt and storytelling from the business, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think the business, the story should originate from a business. You could
Mm,
get ideas or refinements. I put out a post on LinkedIn lately when I was just, thinking about AI and content because, I want to know if I have a job or not. And
yeah,
and I see AI as, when you see those photos where you have like one demon, one angel on your shoulder, and they're always
yeah,
like whispering things in your ear. That's how I see AI, for instance.
yeah.
And in storytelling is I have a story, but I don't know the best way to tell this story, but I know it's captivating.
Mm,
If I can come up with a good hook for it, I have a problem, but I don't know the best way to talk about that problem. I
yeah.
could talk about it in a tone that is a bit like draggy. It's my story, but I would tell it like really, really bad. I bet if if what's this guy that does events and goes on stage to speak. Not Mark Cuban is the billionaire, but
Yeah,
yeah, he's like super
who
popular. Who?
who goes in on stage in the United States or
Yes, he goes on stage like globally and talks to like he has like Tony Robbins.
okay, no, I haven't
Yeah, yeah. So Tony Robbins, yeah, I think it's Tony Robbins. Yeah, he tells like really good stories, right? I bet if he had a similar experience with myself, he's going to like kill it if he gets on stage and tries to talk about that,
mm.
right? So he would tell a way better story, even though we had a similar experience to it. So I feel like the story would be original, but the
Mm,
telling of it, right? How you say it could be refined or supported by AI,
mm.
or AI could train you to tell a better story, right?
Yeah,
If that works, I could. It's impossible to train you at least because it doesn't have all the context. It doesn't understand the audience. A good story also depends on the audience that's going to consume that story.
mm.
Um, so
No,
yeah, I just feel like AI could help with the amplification, like you said, of it, just helping it be better. But originality wise, it has to come from a person.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So
100.
um, how do you go to market currently? And this is very interesting. How do you sell WePost? How do you get people to try it out?
Yeah, so yeah, of course, we're a customer of our own product, so we do a lot of marketing with WePost, organic marketing, and believe me, it works. A lot of it is inbound, but because our AI is not ready for like every user yet, we have a wait
Mm-hmm.
list. So our go-to-market is kind of who we want to test out and who is ready for the product today. So our main goal was to target scale-ups or startups which has acquired funding. Startups usually before funding doesn't afford marketing, so that's really important that they actually afford our service. But the next step, usually when they got funding, startups B2B startups that got funding, they are needing to prove to an investor that they actually have progress. So
Mm-hmm.
starting with marketing that way is really good to show progress to the people and their audience. And next up is it's a really great way for recruitment. So telling a B2B story really get people like, wow, that company looks amazing, I want to work there. So our main kind of go-to-market was B2B companies, scale-up or startup companies which required funding, and we did a lot of outbound sales to them. But one of our main go-to-market strategies was to target innovation houses. So, like, since we're in the market ourselves, we are targeted, like, we have 6am in Trondheim, which is an accelerator. We had something with the Startup Lab. We had something with I don't know, I can't remember all of them, but yeah, we have a lot of like innovation houses, which has kind of all of the startups sitting in there. And our main
Yeah.
idea was that it's gonna go down the throttle and sell and maybe recommend us to startups sitting in the incubator or accelerator. And
Did that work? I'm curious.
it hasn't really paid off yet, but there's some word of mouth going on. So we had, for example, Entropedia. They liked us, so they moved on and recommended us to Oivi, which is another company sitting at Startup Lab. And they recommended also to Monil, which is another company sitting at Lysaker. They're fitted up portfolio companies. So there's some word of mouth, and there was like 6am has recommended us to T-Lab, which we had Tech Nordic, which was a large conference made by T-Lab, which is an incubator in Steinkjer in northern Norway. So it kind of works, but at the same time, it didn't work as good as maybe we hoped. We hoped maybe it's going to go faster and better.
Yeah.
So no, I think we had to maybe try also another go-to-market to really scale
Yeah.
user base to get that 100 in Christmas.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you talked about the 100.
Yeah.
How do you plan to get the 100? And I'm asking because there could be someone else out there, a founder as well, in your shoes that wants to get 100 by Christmas, and they're
Yeah.
looking for like, yeah, how do they do, especially in Norway? I'm interested
Yeah.
because folks don't do content marketing in Norway.
Content
From what
marketing
I've
in
seen
Norway
so
is
far.
so dead. The people don't want to use money on marketing at all. They think it's something which is so easy they can do it themselves, and they don't do it at all. And it's
Sales
so frustrating.
is better.
Yeah.
They'd rather do one-to-one sales, and I feel I have a theory. It's because of the population. It's a
Yeah.
small market. Marketing is usually good when you want to reach like millions of people, right? When you have like really large, you want to write a blog post that 10,000 people would read. I don't think anyone has ever written a post in Norway that 10,000 people read. Maybe the bank flop AI story.
Yeah.
That's probably the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there are others. I'm sure there are others out there, but I have a theory that it is as a result of the population. But then it's because I do content marketing as well. At Hackmamba, we help create original technical content for SaaS companies, right? And it's been interesting to try to go to market in Norway and find folks that want to build or want to do marketing and reach a lot of users. So I'm curious how you want to get the 100. Personally, I am curious.
Yeah. No, I actually have a strong belief that we are able to do it as well if we all of our goals align. So first things first, we have to launch our product, at least a prototype. We have a wait list. So I don't believe we can reach that 100 with the wait list. So we needed our AI to be better and our platform to be better. So these last couple of months, we just developed our platform really good to really make it more onboardable, really make it easier to use. Based on that, we have 11 paying customers today, so we're missing 89.
Oh,
But,
okay. You have some. That's good.
yeah, we have some, so it's still a long way to go. But when we launch, I think it's in a much better place, much easier to sell. So what we did is combined. It's 3 ways. So this summer, we used like a tool called Clay and something called Smart Lead and some other tool. We started using HubSpot as well, but we moved over to these tools. And then those tools helped us scrape 1,500 cold leads, which are directly to the decision makers of
Mm-hmm.
exactly our ICP, which is B2B companies, which has this um, which
Yeah,
has this
Timothy's right.
yeah. It's totally right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
please go on.
yeah, no, so that is the first thing we did, and then the next thing is we're trying to acquire funding because we also believe that we need to join the ads game,
Mm-hmm.
and that requires funding, and that is to move over to a more product-led growth. So our next is really to target to get investors ready to really to make our product more scalable, so they also can see the scalability of our product. And
Mm-hmm.
then when we get that funding, we can actually move over to ads and more more marketing, pretty much, and then
Yeah.
try to make it easier. So that is at least the strategy. And then it's just hustling, my man. It's just the calling, mailing.
Go
Yeah,
at it.
those.
Anyway, by
Yeah,
any means necessary.
by any
Yeah,
means
no,
necessary.
that's cool. So do you have ambitions to scale out of Norway? Are you selling out of Norway first, or this is just uh in Norway for now?
So we have a lot of smart people saying that you should always like win your home market first. I don't know if you're now crossing the chasm or something, but win your home market and then move on to another market. And we strongly believe that as well. But Norway is a really hard market to win with content marketing. It's like, yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
said, it's like you said also. It's such a small market, so people don't believe in marketing so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Contra the big ones like England. We also think about, we got recommended the Netherlands or Sweden, and of course the United States. So
Yeah.
I believe the next 100 should be in Norway, but we are of course open to test out those countries. I said like Sweden or England as well
Mm-hmm.
would be super
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Um,
think I 100% agree that crossing chasm and winning your home market, I would say anyone building in Norway should see the Nordics as
yeah,
a home market, because culturally it's almost the same, and
yeah,
proximity wise, the Nordics is almost like, I would say, what, Texas in the US. That's like all the all the Nordics, right? It's like three
yes,
states in the US. So winning a
100%.
home market, I see it as the Nordics, also because of the kind of product that you're selling. And
Yeah,
I'm also in the same shoes. Most of our clients are in the US and
mm,
elsewhere.
yeah,
If you get revenue there, then maybe you could look at the home front and make it better, and then own the market. And you have enough resources then to
yeah,
own that market or to go at it heavily. And investors would feel better knowing they're investing in a global product.
yeah.
Um, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this goes. But this has been really fun. We've come up on time. This has been amazing, Benjamin. I put up a
Awesome.
link to Wepost here, in case anyone wants to check it. I know Benjamin is trying to get his 100 from
Yes.
Norway, but please, this audience is everywhere. Check out Wepost and tell great stories. I think the website is like really fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
please
Awesome. No,
do
thank you
check
for
it
the
out.
invite. It's been
Yeah,
awesome to be here, William.
yeah, it is. It's been great hanging out here. I have a meetup starting in exactly 10 minutes. I need to run to at
Yeah.
Startup Lab. So today
Go
is
do
really
that.
pumped.
Yeah.
Today is really pumped. Thanks to I see Timothy and Abhinav in the comments. So thanks for hanging out. It was fun having you guys on as well. And as usual, we have these every Wednesdays. On our Thursdays, we talk to amazing founders about everything outside code. Founders like Benjamin that are building really cool products and going to market. And if you're on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube listening to this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next week on another episode of Everything Outside Code. Cheers.
Awesome. Bye.